If you're someone who's dealing with chronic pain, that ache in your back that just won't quit, or those joints that scream at you every morning, you've probably tried just about everything. But what if the real source of your pain isn't what you think it is? We're about to explore a pretty surprising connection that might just change everything for you.
It's a frustrating question, isn't it? One you probably ask yourself every single day. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do, you're following the advice, but the pain just keeps coming back. It can honestly feel like you're fighting a battle you just can't win. But what if we've been looking for the enemy in all the wrong places?
Okay, now stick with me here, because this is a huge shift in thinking for a lot of us. The idea that your persistent pain in your knees, your back, your shoulders isn't really about your joints at all, but is actually starting in your gut. I know, it sounds a little strange, but the science behind this is absolutely fascinating and really compelling. So, to really understand this whole connection, we have to talk about the real culprit behind so much of this chronic pain. And look, it's not just about getting older or an old injury. It's about a constant, low-grade battle that's happening inside your body 24/7. It's like this invisible fire that you can't see, but you can definitely feel its effects. Now, you hear the word inflammation, and it sounds bad, right? But it's not always. When you twist your ankle and it swells up, that's your body's emergency crew rushing in to fix the damage. That's good inflammation. The problem we're talking about is chronic inflammation. That's when the emergency alarm gets stuck in the on position, and your body is just constantly flooded with these chemicals that cause pain and stiffness day after day.
I really like this quote because it paints such a perfect picture. Think about it. A normal injury is like a quick, controlled fire that puts itself out. But chronic inflammation? That's like a small fire that's just smoldering in the background all the time. It never really goes out, and it's slowly doing damage and keeping your whole system on high alert. That's the fire we need to talk about.
So you're probably asking, where's this fire getting its fuel? Well, it usually comes from three main sources. First, from inflamed fat cells. Yeah, when our fat cells get overloaded, they don't just sit there, they actually start pumping out inflammatory stuff. Second, an unhealthy gut environment. And third, something called insulin resistance, which is basically what happens when your body gets overwhelmed by too much sugar. It all creates this perfect storm for inflammation.
And this brings us to the most important part of this whole conversation. If those internal issues are the fire, then what we eat is basically the fuel we keep throwing on it. The food we choose has a direct and really powerful effect on that smoldering fire inside of us. So let's break down exactly how that works.
It's really like a domino effect. It all starts with step one. You eat something high in sugar or refined carbs, and whoosh, your blood sugar spikes. For step two, your body can't use all that sugar for energy, so it stores the extra in your fat cells, which causes them to get swollen and inflamed. That leads to step three, a chaotic state called oxidative stress, which creates these damaging little molecules called free radicals. And finally, after the cycle repeats over and over, you get to step four. Your nerves become hypersensitive. The pain signals get turned way up, so you feel way more pain from things that maybe shouldn't hurt so much. So the bottom line is this. Every time we overeat, especially those processed foods and sugary snacks, we're basically just hitting our body's inflammation switch again and again. It's not just about the weight. It's about the constant stress we're putting our system under, never giving it a moment to rest and recover. All right, let's move on, because this part is truly incredible. For the longest time, we've thought about joint pain as a simple mechanical problem, just wear and tear. But what scientists are discovering now is this unbelievably strong and direct link between the health of your gut and the pain in your joints. They actually have a name for it, the gut-joint axis. And what it means is pretty simple. What happens in your gut does not stay in your gut. There is a constant communication highway running between your digestive system and every other part of your body, and that includes your joints. So if your gut is unhappy, it can send out inflammatory signals all over the place. Let's really look at the difference here. On one side, you have a healthy gut. It has a strong, solid barrier, kind of like a bouncer at a club, letting the good stuff in and keeping the bad stuff out. This keeps your immune system calm. But on the other side, you've got what's called a leaky gut. The barrier is damaged. Now toxins and undigested food particles can sneak out into your bloodstream. Your immune system spots these invaders, and you guessed it, launches a massive inflammatory attack that you can end up feeling in your knees and your back. This is the one thing I really want you to take away from this section. It's that simple. If your gut is on fire, that fire can and will spread. So if you have that nagging joint pain that just won't go away, looking at the health of your gut, well, it might be the most important thing you could possibly do. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. We've seen how food can fuel this fire of chronic inflammation. So now, let's talk about the solution. How do we actually put the fire out? Well, the answer is surprisingly straightforward. We have to give our bodies a break. We need to hit the inflammation reset button.
But before we get to the solution, let's just do a quick, honest self-check here. Because a lot of times, the things that are fueling this inflammation are just habits. They're so normal to us, we don't even see them. So take a look at this list and just see if anything rings a bell.
Are you grabbing processed convenience foods on a regular basis? What about snacking? Just grazing all day long from the moment you wake up till you go to bed. How about those sugary drinks? Or maybe you're a fan of the big late-night meal. And finally, is your diet a little low on things like vegetables and fermented foods? Hey, if you recognize yourself here, you are not alone. But these are the very habits that are keeping that inflammation switch flipped on.
And this is where we have to totally shift our focus. We are so obsessed with what to eat. But what if a huge part of the solution isn't about what you eat, but about when you don't eat? It's about creating these intentional windows of time where you're simply not eating. And that's the whole idea behind intermittent fasting.
So how in the world does not eating help? Well, it does some amazing things. First, it gives your gut a break. It's a chance for that lining to finally heal and repair itself. Second, it kicks on this incredible process called autophagy, which is literally your body's own internal cleanup crew, getting rid of old junked up cells. Third, it helps your body handle sugar better, which lowers all that metabolic stress. And finally, it encourages your body to burn fat for fuel, which helps shrink those inflamed fat cells we talked about. Wow, okay, we have covered a lot of ground. We've connected the dots from your diet to your gut, all the way to the chronic inflammation that's probably driving your pain. So let's just bring it all together and figure out what this means for you and your path to feeling better. This right here might be the most hopeful idea of all. Instead of thinking of your pain as a sign that your body is failing or you're just getting old, what if you started thinking of it as a message, a signal from the inside that's just trying to tell you that things are out of balance? It's not a life sentence. It's a request for a change. This is why we have to reframe how we think about something like fasting. It's so easy to see it as restriction or punishment, but that's not it at all. It's an act of deep care. You're just creating the time and the space your body desperately needs to do what it was designed to do, heal itself. You're turning on your body's own powerful, built-in repair systems. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. After all the time spent searching for a pill or some new treatment to fix the pain, what if the most powerful solution wasn't about adding something new, but about taking something away, just for a little while? What if the key to truly lasting relief was already inside you all along, just waiting quietly for the chance to get to work?